The megafauna, the giant beasts of the Ice Age, roamed freely. We often think of woolly mammoths, saber-toothed cats, or giant sloths. But what about giant birds? I mean, really, giant birds. Today, we're diving into the incredible story of how our ancient ancestors, early humans, didn't just coexist with, but actively hunted, giant ostriches that stood over 3 meters tall. Let's set the scene. We're talking about a time long before Homo sapiens appeared. Our main characters are early hominins, likely Homo erectus, navigating a world filled with dangers and opportunities. And one of the most striking creatures they would have encountered was Pachystruthiotomanocensis. Try saying that 3 times fast. Let's just call it the giant ostrich. This wasn't your average ostrich. It was a heavyweight champion, weighing up to 450 kilograms, or nearly 1,000 pounds. That's 3 times heavier than a modern ostrich. Its legs were powerful, built for running, but its sheer size meant it probably wasn't as fast as its modern cousins. Still, a kick from this behemoth would have been absolutely lethal. For decades, scientists knew these giant birds existed from scattered fossil remains found across Eastern Europe and Central Asia, but the relationship between them and our early human ancestors remained a mystery. How did these small-brained hominins interact with such a formidable creature? Were they the prey, or were they the hunters? The answer, it turns out, was hiding in a cave, waiting to be discovered. The breakthrough came from the Taurida Cave in Crimea, a peninsula on the northern coast of the Black Sea. In 2018, researchers uncovered a treasure trove of fossils, including the first complete thigh bone, or femur, of this giant ostrich found in the northern hemisphere. This discovery alone was huge, confirming the bird's massive size and powerful build. But the story got even more exciting. Alongside the bird bones, archaeologists found a wealth of stone tools flint artifacts, characteristic of early human activity. The plot was thickening. Were these just a coincidence? 2 separate stories from the same location. The science team, led by researchers from the Russian Academy of Sciences, started looking closer at the bird bones, and what they found was on the giant ostrich bones. They identified clear-cut marks and percussion marks. These weren't random scratches from geological processes or gnaw marks from carnivores. These were the unmistakable calling cards of early humans. They were using their stone tools to butcher these giant birds. The cut marks indicated they were slicing off meat from the bone. The percussion marks, or fracture patterns, showed they were deliberately smashing the bones open. Why? To get to the rich, nutritious marrow inside. This is a game changer. It tells us that between 1.5 and 2 million years ago, our ancestors weren't just scavenging leftovers from other predators. They were actively targeting and processing these enormous birds. Think about what that entails. Hunting a 450-kilogram bird would have required incredible bravery, intelligence, and cooperation. A single hunter would stand little chance. This suggests that early humans were likely working in groups, using strategy to ambush, trap, or corner these giants. They were coordinating their efforts, a hallmark of sophisticated social behavior. Once the hunt was successful, the real work began. Processing such a large carcass is no small feat. The cut marks tell a story of systematic butchery. The hominins knew exactly where to cut to dismember the limbs and strip away the massive muscles of the legs and thighs. This wasn't a clumsy hack job, it was skilled work. Then comes the marrow. Bone marrow is an incredibly dense source of fat and calories, a superfood for the ancient world. Accessing it required another level of tool use. They would place the massive bones on a stone anvil and strike them with a hammerstone precisely and forcefully to crack them open without shattering them into useless fragments. This find in the Taurida cave provides some of the earliest direct evidence of this kind of interaction in Europe. It paints a vivid picture of life for our ancient relatives. They were resourceful, adaptable, and far more capable than we often give them credit for. The giant ostrich wasn't just a threat. It was a massive opportunity. A single successful hunt could have provided a huge amount of food for a group, sustaining them for days. The meat, the marrow, the fat heat was all a vital source of energy that would have fueled their bodies and, crucially, their growing brains. This connection between meat-eating, tool use, and brain development is a cornerstone of human evolution. The calories and nutrients from sources like the giant ostrich allowed for the expansion of the very organ that makes us human. It's a feedback loop. Smarter hominins develop better tools and strategies, which allows them to acquire better food, which in turn fuels a bigger, more complex brain. The giant ostrich, in a way, helped build the human mind. Beyond the meat and marrow, what else could these birds have offered? Let's speculate a little. The skin could have been used for clothing or shelter. The massive bones, once emptied of marrow, could have been used as tools themselves. And what about the eggs? An ostrich egg today is equivalent to about 24 chicken eggs. Imagine the egg of a bird 3 times that size. A single giant ostrich egg would have been an incredible prize, a huge, easily transportable meal packed with protein and fat. Finding a nest would have been like hitting the prehistoric jackpot. Sadly, the giant ostrich, like many of the great megafauna, eventually went extinct. The reasons are likely complex, involving climate change and environmental shifts. But the pressure from highly effective human hunters might have played a role as well. Our ancestors were so good at what they did that they may have helped push these magnificent birds over the brink. It's a pattern we see repeated throughout history, a testament to the growing power and influence of our lineage. So, the next time you see an ostrich at the zoo, take a moment to imagine its ancient, gigantic cousin. Picture our own distant ancestors, armed with nothing but stone tools and courage, facing down this feathered giant. It's a powerful reminder of where we come from. The story of our evolution is written not just in our own bones, but in the bones of the incredible creatures we shared the planet with. It's a story of survival, innovation, and the relentless drive that set us on the path to becoming who we are today. Thanks for joining me on this journey back in time. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories from our deep past. See you next time.